the last truck I had. I called it the countdown truck because it was 9876. Right? For you vets like Sean, who else I got that's a vet? Yeah, that's right. Raiden. If you go through Tulsa and tell them, they don't even ask to see a DD214 or anything, but tell them you're a vet and they'll put that decal on your truck for you.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service.
Yeah.
Nobody ever does that. It's pretty cool though. Anyway, so this is up in Brewster, Washington, near the Columbia River. This is an apple orchard, and we'll pick up wood there where they prune back the apple trees, and I hauled this down to Ennis, Texas, where they turned it into barbecue smoked wood chips. Okay, but basically, I have this up here for a couple reasons. You're not always going to be driving on pavement. You will see dirt a lot. Also, I had to follow guys on four-wheelers through the apple orchard on all these switchbacks between the trees to get to here, so it's kind of challenging, right? Also, I'm in the middle of nowhere. I have no cell phone service at all. My cell phone is nothing. The only contact with the outside world was my Qualcomm. I'm out here working alone. I had to take a 10-hour break here because my hours expired. You get up here and work on this load and you fall off and break your back or your neck and you can't get back to the truck to call for help. You're probably going to be laying here for 10, 12 hours praying that the local wildlife doesn't pay you a visit before people find you, right? So in a situation like this, you want to use your Qualcomm to send in a message and say, look, I'm out here by myself, ping my truck, the GPS. I'm going to send you a free-form message at whatever time you come up with. If you don't get that message, something's wrong, send help. That's how you take care of that, because you do work alone a lot, okay? Also right here, this is the best way to carry your wood, in my opinion, is to build you 2 stacks of 4 right next to each other and use that front stay pocket to make a bulkhead right on the front edge of your trailer. Haul it down the road like that. Move it as needed for the load, right? I wouldn't put it in the gear unless you have no other choice. I usually kept my V-boards in there when I make, don't make V-boards till you need them.
Especially in the winter.
Yeah. The other thing too is, you remember I told you can't put heavy stuff behind the back axle?
Yeah.
Well, again, I didn't want to get into an altercation or a confrontation with the shipper. You never want to do that. So I just kind of said, look, this is going to be overweight back here. You shouldn't put that back there. I'm telling you it's going to be overweight. And I lost the battle without getting into an argument with the guy. So he put it on there. Sure enough, I was overweight, and I had to do a transload in Spokane, Washington, which was very expensive. Okay, so you don't put heavy stuff back there. All right. Always make sure the forklift puts the tarps on top of the load for you. You'll only make that mistake once. We haul these out of North Bend, Washington. It's on I-90, about 30 miles east of Seattle. This was in Montana, where I took a break, where I stopped for the night at, if anybody's ever been there, 50,000 silver dollars hotel and casino there on I-90 in Montana. It's a pretty cool place, actually. But here's why I have that up there. This is an old 48-foot trailer. It was loaded up. I had to chain it. I backed under it and I was complacent. I was in a hurry. I wanted to get out of there and get going. I didn't think to pre-trip my trailer. I did not pre-trip it. Okay, if anybody's ever driven on I-90 through Idaho and Montana, on the western side of Montana,
Boring.
huge mountains, big time grades.
No.
Mountain lion on my husband.
It is a big deal to drive through there.
Snow.
Okay, it's dangerous. You got to make sure well, it's not dangerous. You just got to do the right thing. Make sure you downshift, be in the proper gear, going at proper speed down the mountains. But problem was my brakes weren't working very well. I was like, something's not right. Well, my trailer was due for an inspection, and Outside Repair sent me a message on my Qualcomm. You need to get your trailer inspected. Okay, this is a multi-stop load. I have my passport. That's good, right? Because I had one stop in Terre Haute, Indiana, one stop in Terre Haute, Indiana, one stop in Lansing, Michigan, and 2 stops in Toronto, Canada. So this was a big payday right here. All right, but in Lansing, Michigan, I went through a Petro there and had them do an inspection on my trailer. I had no brakes on my trailer at all, which I would have known had I done a tug test, but I didn't. So don't be me. Okay.
So you didn't have to put a tarp on both of those loads?
Nope. No tarp, and I got to drive that cool thing around.
I see the chains, but like
It's all chains.
But in the back, I don't see like.
It's all chains. There's a strap that goes through here.
Okay.
You have to be careful how you strap it though, because you can't bend that metal. I see that happening sometimes. You can't damage it.
Just lips and a cherry picker.
Now, this is Western Extrusions in Carrollton, Texas, especially North Dallas, okay, off 35E. This is a CYA deal right here. If you need to remember that when you get a load, as soon as you accept the paperwork on that load, that's now your load. If there's any damage to it when you get to the other end, it's on you. Even if it was damaged at the shipper before you even got the load, you accepted it. As soon as you accept it, if there's anything wrong with it, it's on you, not the shipper, right? So if you get a load and you go to it and it's damaged, don't take the paperwork and drive it down the road. Call your DM and say, hey man, this load's got this, this, and this. In this instance, on my load plan on the Qualcomm, it said, this load cannot get wet. If it has water spots on it, it will be rejected by the consignee. Okay? So I go over to this preloaded trailer, and what do I see all over this aluminum? Water spots. All over it. So instead of just taking the bills and going with it, I took my phone out and shot this picture showing these water spots and emailed it to my DM. Am I hauling this or not?
No.
Well, I left it to the DM and safety and all them to decide whether I was hauling or not. They made all the appropriate phone calls and said, yes, you're okay to haul it. But cover yourself. Don't just willy-nilly take stuff until you know that it's good to go. You'll take a 10-hour break at this place. We call it Western Excursions. You'll never get out of there. It takes forever. And these aluminum extrusions are like strapping and tarping exposed razor blades. Hope you got some padding for this one.
Sleeves.
Yeah, long sleeves are required. Bundles of steel. I picked these up in Richmond, Virginia, and took them to Utica, New York. They put a row of dunnage down on the deck of the trailer. They drop these bundles down. You put another row of 4x4s. They drop the second set of bundles down. They leave the gaps because the way they unload it is they have an overhead crane that drops a chain down around it, and that's how they lift them off. Okay, so they have to keep the gaps. The problem is this blocking wasn't there when I got the load, and neither was that. And I'm at this place in Virginia, and there's other truckers out there from different companies, and they're literally just throwing random straps over it and leaving the property like that. I'm like, no, that's not good. Because if you put straps or chains over it and close them down, what's going to happen to the bundles? It's going to push them together, right? And you had to tarp this too, right? So I can't see what's going on under the tarp. Well, the other solution the guy was like, well, let's fish your strap through like this. I'm like, I don't have enough padding to pad all those points of contact where it's going to be on those sharp edges. So you have to have the presence of mind to see what's going on. I said, look, I was nice about it. I need you to saw me up some blocks, which they did, and I hammered them down in there as best I could. And then I took a 4x4 and put it on top of it and made a bulkhead type thing that was like a giant clamp. And I had one here and one off the picture up there. And then I put my chains over it and I was good to go. Point being, it's up to you whether that load's good to go or not, whether it's safe and if it's secured the way you want it to be secured. You don't just go on the site and say, oh, well, he's doing it this way, so I'll do what he's doing. He might not be doing it right.
Yeah.
Okay?
You wouldn't put so I would think to put like the X on the back of that one.
It'd be kind of hard to do. I mean, I don't know how you'd get it on there. A bulkhead would be great on the front and back. The problem was it took every 4x4 I had. So I didn't have any extra 4x4s.
So on those, it doesn't, because you know about I'm talking about the load ship. It doesn't matter that you got the binders all on the same, well, I mean, I know they're on top, but they're all like on one side.
Yeah, well, it's because they're all on top. They're all on top, and it's pulling it all together.
Yeah, it's still pulling it towards center instead of pulling it to one side.
Yeah, all of them are up on top. All right. That's how not to tarp a coil, right? We talked about that yesterday.
Easy man way.
There's a center loading point over the marker light on a 48. This is a very important account for us, okay? Very important account. Novellus in Oswego, New York. A lot of times you make this, if anybody ever been to Oswego, New York, it is way up there. It's way up there in western New York, right on one of the Great Lakes. Is that Erie?
Erie.
I think.
That's
Way
like
up there,
Buffalo,
man. Yeah, it's way up there. A lot of times I've hauled these from there down to Morgantown, West Virginia, into their other plant down there. But there's what it looks like. It's a shotgun coil. See how big it is? It's so big, in fact, they have to provide the coil dunnage for it. Ours isn't big enough. It's about 47,000 pounds. They put it right over the center loading point of your trailer. If you notice, our trailers have an arc in them like this. When they put this thing on there, it goes like that.
Wow.
It's crying. Okay? Take all 12 chains and 4 straps over the top of it. Okay? Then when you get that accomplished, you're going to tarp it like that, right? Make sure you seal the flap down to the deck of the trailer good. I used an end tarp because I needed the extra real estate that the flap gave me. That's how you tarp it. There's me, 35 pounds lighter. Okay. Put my V-boards in there. This is what those out-of-the-sky coils look like. Okay, they're aluminum. Again, you must use rope here. You can't use bungees. No chains. 3 straps over the top, right? And you can put bungees down the side. There's some front end loaders that you may get out of Laredo. I don't know why I have that one up there, so we'll keep going. Okay, expensive freight. On occasion, you may haul something that's really high dollar freight. Copper, in this case, it was fiber optic cable. Whatever, when you're hauling something like that, while you're at the truck stop, you're not telling everybody in the truck stop, hey man, I'm hauling this $500,000 load, right?
Yeah, no.
Because then you go out to your truck and they might be greeting you at your truck going, hey, I'll take that, thank you, right? Don't be telling people what you're hauling if it's expensive stuff. That's a bad idea. On these spools, they'll come out there and put this wood on your trailer and hammer it into the deck, like nail it down, using a damn nailer, like a framing nailer. Bam, 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 with these nails like this long.
Damn.
And you can't get them out. I mean, you go down to Laredo and you deliver it, and then you get one of these trailers sitting there like that. You got to get a crowbar to get that wood off, and you pull the wood off, and the nails are still sticking up. So you watch out for that.
The place in Richmond, Kentucky that Milton hauls those out of, maybe
Yeah.
set up a floor rack now or something.
Oh, okay. But there's a multi-layer load. Keep going. Now, AC units. Pueblo, Colorado. One other big account of ours, Train, over in Pueblo, Colorado. You get one of these, haul it all over the place. They get chains on each side, but they're going to give you a picture that shows you where to put it and how to secure it. All that kind of stuff. Hazmat.
You give that to us on the quote come, or we just look on our books?
What, the picture? The shipper's going to hand you a picture.
Okay.
You want to get your hazmat endorsement here. It's real easy to haul hazmat for us. It's always class 3 flammable or non-flammable gas. Okay, like in AC units. We give you the placards. They're on. They're diamond-shaped pieces of wood nailed to a 2x4. You'll get 4 of them. One goes in that stake pocket, one on the front, one on the side, and one on the back. Okay, it's real easy to haul. It's always palletized and containerized in small enough amounts that you never have to follow a hazmat route.
Oh, good.
DOT requirement too. I have one on each side
Right.
of the trailer.
We're going to give you those. The shipper will give you these labels. One of the problems that we see though is these are stickers, and if the wind gets under it, it'll peel it off. So you got to be careful. You can't obscure it with tape, but you kind of want to tape it or staple it. I usually stapled it. Clear tape, yeah, or I stapled it on there because you don't want that to peel off and then get an inspection and get dinged for that. But there it is. It usually comes in a roofing kit. Carlisle Syntec Roofing, which is in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. It's like a stone's throw from all those truck stops in Carlisle, PA, if you've been there. It's these 5-gallon buckets. It's all shrunk wrapped and everything. Usually it's tarped. This particular load was a no tarp load for some reason, but you don't ever have to worry about a hazmat route. It's real easy to haul. You're not hauling bulk, so you definitely want to do it. It's an extra 6 cents a mile for every mile you drive with that load over and above your
That's a
normal
new
mileage
tarp
paid.
load, like they tarped that first half.
That's just plastic wrapping that was on it.
Oh,
But you definitely want to get that and do that. It's a lot of extra money. Sharp edges. Don't run your straps over sharp edges. You'll tear up your straps. Nothing will anger another driver worse than doing a repower, right? And let's say you do a repower with somebody who's a knucklehead, and they didn't patch their tarps. They got holes in their tarps. And then you deliver their load, and you pull the straps off, and they're all cut up and abraded and stuff because they didn't pad the straps. You can't do that. That's lazy. It's a DOT violation if you get your straps cut and you're rolling down the road with them like that.
What you gotta do a repower, you just come up and look at them and say, oh, I'm not taking this one.
You need to call safety. Call your DM and call safety. And
hey,
so
you
we
don't
can.
have to take it. It's on the video. You know, if he didn't do his job right, you don't have
What
to
they'll
take
do
it.
is they'll make him fix it or deal with the situation. You call safety and don't confront him, call safety. But you'll get these cardboard edge protectors in your truck. You'll have 2 stacks of them in the side box on the right side of the truck. Keep you a healthy supply of these. A lot of the shippers you go to will have pallets of these things. Put some in your truck. Anytime you go through a terminal, we'll have them there available to you as well. Get you a nice hefty supply of those. Keep them in your truck. Use them till they wear out. When they wear out, throw them away. But use them. They're there to protect your straps from getting cut on sharp edges. Okay, use them, use them, use them.
And you need a belly strap on that kind of load too, right?
This one didn't need that because it's all flat. There's my V-boards. I had to make them for a load, so I put them there. And see, I told you we keep a ratchet mounted on the frame there, so you can use a 2-inch strap. Can't use bungees for that, right? Hay, you don't haul it unless we have no other choice. It's cheap freight, but sometimes in the middle of the country, like South Dakota, Kansas, there's no other options. So we're gonna make you haul that to get you out of that low or bad freight area. You have to secure it, and it's usually tarped as well. Not always, but most of the time. We tarp things that most companies don't tarp. Okay, so at this situation where I'm in Georgia, there's like 4 or 5 Milton trucks. I don't remember exactly. I think there's 4 of us hauling this Shelby system. It was going in a dairy warehouse, a climate-controlled dairy warehouse place up in Wisconsin, and those people wanted it tarped. Well, we show up at this place, and they're loaded on our trailer, and we're going over here to tarp it, and the guys that are working there are just berating us, going, "Man, that's a no tarp load. Why are y'all tarping that? That's crazy. We don't tarp that. There's no tarp on that load. That's a no tarp load." Just constantly telling, "That's a no tarp load." Rail trucking was there. "That's a no tarp load. Y'all are crazy. You don't need to tarp that." Blah, blah. Well, we know better, and so I'm trying to make sure you know this. Just because everybody around you is telling you not to tarp it does not mean a thing. If there's a question about that, call your DM or use a Qualcomm message and have them check on it for you. Because chances are, we're tarping it. Because we're getting paid to tarp it for a specific reason. So it doesn't matter what the guy running the forklift says. What matters is what your DM says. Okay? We got paid to tarp this. So even though everybody there was telling us not to tarp it, they were wrong. It was supposed to be tarped. Now, because this load was not typically a tarped load, at this facility, they had no stairs to roll up to it. So if you don't have a ladder, you got to climb that. Okay? Make sure they put the tarps up there for you too, right? Need some movie blankets to pad all these sharp edges too, right? I hope nobody has a fear of heights. Fear of heights does not work in this job. Okay? Fear of heights does not work. Don't drive in the snow, right? And lastly, come on.
Don't drive in the snow?
Do not drive in the snow. You can drive on roads that have been brined and cleared, yes, but you'll never chain up. Okay? Never chain up. All right, so here's the terminal in Tulsa. It looks like a Cabela's or a Bass Pro Shop, kind of. We don't have any 660s left, I don't think. I think we sold them all off. All the mid-roos are automatics. We will be an all-automatic company at some point. If you see a truck that's not blue, it's a million-miler truck. We have a mixture of Kenworths and Freightliners, although we have more Kenworths than Freightliners. And with super rare bird, we have a handful of Volvos. Okay? Up there, this is but one corner of the yard. There's a big shop here, and then going all the way around, 360 degrees. All the trailers are in the middle. More trucks lined up around the perimeter. And there's the cargo protection facility, right? Wash bay. There's all kinds of stuff. It's a big facility up there. Okay, big facility. That's inside the terminal building up there. This is all for the drivers down here. This is our area, our hangout area.
They take care of it, don't they?
Yes, but we have high expectations too. Down here is license and permits, local dispatch. We only do local dispatch in 2 places. Here in Tulsa and down in Laredo. Everywhere else is remotely dispatched from Tulsa. Okay, so you go here, you end up in the shop to fix your trailer or your truck or whatever. You would get your load from right here. Okay, over here, and I get them out of order. But one's payroll, benefits, driver services, and safety's underneath. You go through the door back there to clear your logs and stuff. There's a little restaurant right here. Over here is the company store where you can get bungees, strap winders, hard hats, all that sort of utilitarian stuff. But you can also get golf shirts, ball caps, coveralls, t-shirts, gym bags, cups, all that kind of stuff with logos on it and all that. But they do carry, all the necessities as well. And you can do that on payroll deduction too, stuff you need to buy from there. Free Wi-Fi in the whole building. Back in there's a hangout area with tables and chairs and microwaves and all that kind of stuff. kind of like out here, except nicer. Back in there is the laundry facilities, which are really nice. Everything here is nice. The shower facilities, the TV room. There's a gym back there named Torque is what they mean, the gym. Everything has a truck theme, right? The store's called Gear. The, what's the cafe called? Fuel. Cafe's called Fuel, right? The gym's called Torque. But at the gym, there's a full-time fitness trainer on staff there. So all that's right in there. And the old facility, the old terminal building is still on the property as well. A lot of drivers like to go hang out there just because it's quieter and it's away from all the corporate types. And there's laundry facilities there too that's like these in here. And there's also a TV room over there. The barbershop's over there. The doc's over there. The dentist comes there. All that stuff is there as well. So everything's like that. Up here is where your DMs live. There's also another company up here called Connexus, which is our what do you call it, logistics company that we have. And then your DMs, and then up there is where all the executives are, and Bob has one half of the building. Mostly conference rooms up there and stuff. If you want to meet your DM, there's the driver's entrance and exit. You just go up the stairwell, and there's a little place to stop. You pick up the phone, dial their extension, they'll come down and greet you and take you up and give you a tour of the place. If they're not super busy, but they'll definitely come get you and meet you and show you around, stuff like that too. Okay?
I was in there one time,